This episode of Celebrating Science is all about time, from clocks to the understanding of the timing of natural events, like our 17-year cicada hatchout. And we're also going to step back in time to learn about scientist Benjamin Banneker, a free black man born in 1731. Benjamin Banneker was born in 1731 in Baltimore County, Maryland. The enslavement of black Africans was practiced throughout the American colonies at this time, including in Maryland. Benjamin's parents were a free woman named Mary Banneker and her husband, Robert, a formerly enslaved laborer. Benjamin's education was primarily self-directed through his curiosity about how things worked and through the use of a neighbor's library. He was curious about math, astronomy, and natural history. One of his earliest and most famous inventions was a working clock that he built from wooden components that he carved. Benjamin Banneker was 17 in 1749, which coincided with a natural phenomenon known as a 17-year cicada emergence. He documented their life cycles, from the eggs laid in tree branches to the lengthy underground lives of the nymphs that spend 17 years sipping from tree roots, to the emergence of billions of the insects in their 17th year. He wrote about those, which he called locusts, as many people still do today, in his journals, and was one of the first people to understand the timing of their emergences and the details of their life cycles. His skills of observation and innate curiosity allowed him to train himself in astronomy. He was able to predict future lunar and solar eclipses. He assisted with a survey of the land that would eventually become Washington, D.C. through the use of his mathematical knowledge and timekeeping equipment. Eventually, Banneker developed a series of annual almanacs, the first published in Maryland. These were volumes of scientific data such as lunar cycles, tide tables, astronomical information, and planting dates. These volumes were enormously useful to people in the 1700s, who relied on them for everything from knowing the sunset times to the planting dates of particular crops. He published these popular books for 5 years, and even sent the manuscript of one of them to Thomas Jefferson, then the United States Secretary of State. Banneker included a letter to Jefferson imploring him to see how cruel enslavement was, and using his own work in astronomy and the sciences to showcase the intelligence and capabilities of Black Americans. Some of Banneker's inventions and journals are available today for public viewing at the Benjamin Banneker Historical Park and Museum in Baltimore County, Maryland. Unfortunately, much of his work and many of his writings were lost in a fire on the same day that he died in 1806, shortly before his 75th birthday. If you would like to make observations of the 17-year cicadas that Banneker wrote about, this is the summer to do it. There are places in Michigan where one of the largest broods of cicadas are emerging in June of 2021. You can see them and hear them near Ann Arbor in places like Cherry Hill Preserve and the Koch Headwaters Preserve. The 17-year cicadas won't be back again until 2038. To learn more about Benjamin Banneker, check out one of the many books written about his scientific discoveries and understanding. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Celebrating Science.